OpenAI turning on advertising inside chat is not a feature update. It's not a growth experiment, and it's definitely not a celebration moment. It's a pressure release. It happened quietly. No keynote, no bold framing, no attempt to sell it as innovation. Because when a company like OpenAI puts ads inside a conversational AI, the signal is obvious. The internal stress has reached the surface. This is what happens when usage explodes faster than revenue, when costs harden into long-term commitments, and when delaying monetization stops being an option. This moment matters far beyond OpenAI. It exposes the real shape of the AI industry right now. Let's start with the economics because that's where everything breaks. Running large-scale AI systems is not like running a software app. It's closer to running a global utility. OpenAI reportedly burned around $9 billion last year. This year, estimates push that number much higher. And these are not costs you can pause. We're talking about multi-year data center leases, long-term power purchase agreements, compute infrastructure locked in years ahead. Once you sign those contracts, you're committed. You feed the system, or the system collapses. Now combine that with reality on the user side. Hundreds of millions of people use chats every week, but only a small fraction pay. That gap isn't shrinking, it's widening. At some point, the math forces a move. Advertising is one of the few levers that can scale revenue fast enough to matter at that size. And the reaction inside the AI world revealed just how uncomfortable that move is. Demis Hassabis, head of Google DeepMind, publicly said the decision surprised him. His concern wasn't technical, it was relational. Search advertising works because search is transactional. You ask, you get results. You leave. Assistants are different. They sit inside thought, memory, personal intent, ongoing conversation. Once monetization touches that layer, trust dynamics shift in ways that are extremely hard to control. Hassabis also made another point very clear. Gemini has no immediate plans for ads. That stance is much easier when your parent company already dominates global advertising. This is the fault line forming across the AI ecosystem. On one side, companies with diversified revenue, infrastructure leverage, and patience. On the other, companies dependent on selling access to models while costs accelerate faster than pricing power. And while OpenAI is forced to monetize under pressure, DeepMind is preparing for something else entirely. Shane Legg, DeepMind co-founder and one of the most serious Augie thinkers alive, recently announced he's hiring a senior economist to work directly with him. Not for speculation, for post-Augie economics, productivity, labor markets, income distribution, long-term growth. This matters because when people at that level stop focusing purely on model architecture and start building internal economic capacity, it signals a shift in assumptions. The question is no longer if advanced systems arrive, it's what breaks when they do. Legg has openly said Augie is on the horizon. Hassabis has put a rough probability on it, estimating a 50% chance by around 2030, depending on definitions. Others suggest even earlier timelines. The disagreement isn't direction anymore, it's speed, and speed is now colliding with physical reality. At the World Economic Forum in Davos, AI wasn't discussed like software, it was discussed like infrastructure. Executives talked about electricity, grid limits, cooling, land, permits. Andy Jassy warned directly about power shortages. Amazon responded by investing in energy generation, including small modular nuclear reactors, because compute growth without power security does not scale. Satya Nadella added a social dimension, warning that AI could lose public permission to operate if it continues consuming scarce energy without delivering visible benefits in healthcare, education, public services, and productivity. That framing is critical. Once AI competes with hospitals and cities for electricity, public tolerance becomes political. Jensen Huang described AI as the largest infrastructure build-out in human history, using the language of factories and industrial capacity. And infrastructure brings consequences. Infrastructure invites regulation. Infrastructure demands oversight. Infrastructure creates accountability. At that point, performance alone is not enough. Access to power, land, permits, political alignment. These increasingly determine who can scale. This is why enterprise control layers suddenly matter so much. Workday positions itself as the front door to work. Salesforce embeds engineers directly inside customer organizations to observe how AI behaves in real workflows. Snowflake openly worries about model providers moving down the stack into data access. Once AI agents touch payroll, procurement, compliance, and customer records, governance becomes inseparable from intelligence. And geopolitics tightens the loop even further. Advanced compute hardware is now a strategic asset. Anthropic CEO publicly criticized decisions allowing NVIDIA's H200 chips into China, framing them as a national security risk. Regardless of where you stand, the framing itself matters. Compute is political. Supply chains are leverage. Regulation shapes winners. This accelerates consolidation. Google's recent moves reflect that reality, acquiring common-sense machines to strengthen physical world modeling, licensing Hume AI's emotional voice technology, investing heavily in OpenAI. Founded by researchers who helped invent the transformer architecture, the importance here isn't just technology, it's people. The architects of modern AI are now exploring what comes next inside ecosystems capable of supporting long-term, expensive research. Smaller players feel the pressure first. Compute costs scale aggressively. Infrastructure expenses do not forgive mistakes. Large platforms survive because they can subsidize AI with cloud revenue, advertising, enterprise software, and government contracts. Many others won't. Globally, perspective complicates the story. In China, deeply integrated platforms and app-within-app ecosystems have existed for years. From that vantage point, Silicon Valley's assistant everywhere strategy looks incremental rather than revolutionary. And while infrastructure and geopolitics dominate one side of the narrative, another shift is happening closer to the human body. AI is moving off screens. Apple is reportedly exploring an AI wearable roughly the size of an AirTag. OpenAI has confirmed plans for its own AI device, widely expected to involve Jony Ive. The goal is continuous presence, not intermittent interaction. History offers warnings. Google Glass collapsed under social backlash. Humane's AI pin failed dramatically. Always-on sensors trigger discomfort fast. Yet companies keep pushing, because contextual perception is enormously valuable. Systems that understand what users see and hear in real time outperform text-based assistants by orders of magnitude. And then it goes even deeper. OpenAI has invested heavily in Merge Labs, a brain-computer interface company co-founded by Sam Altman. The approach is non-invasive, focused ultrasound, molecular techniques. The ambition goes beyond medical restoration. It's tighter human-AI integration. Neural signals are noisy, complex, and deeply personal. Interpreting them requires massive real-time inference, ultra-low latency, unified, resilient infrastructure. Each layer adds cost. Each layer adds ethical weight. Investors see this clearly. Scale alone no longer impresses. The real question now is whether enterprise monetization, pricing power, and falling inference costs can realistically outpace rising compute intensity. Some companies will go public. Some will be acquired. Many will fail quietly. These outcomes say little about intelligence. They say everything about economic survivability. The AI bubble didn't collapse because intelligence stalled. It collided with reality. AI became expensive, physical, energy-bound, regulated, socially constrained from this point forward. Outcomes matter more than promises. Trust matters as much as capability. Endurance matters more than speed. That's where the industry stands. If this breakdown helped you see the bigger picture, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.